Don't buy a WRX or STI without watching this video first. Today we're going to be comparing the WRX and the STI. We're going to be talking about the price, the reliability, the modability, the drivability, the interior, all types of stuff. For those of you that are brand new to the channel, welcome. My name's Alberto. This STI right here, I've been documenting the build process of it on my channel, and it's currently making about 500 wheel horsepower. I've had the pleasure of owning a 2019 WRX, a 2023 WRX, and now my 2017 STI. Before we get started, if you guys could drop a like and turn the like button blue like the Subaru, that'd be really good. And yeah, let's get started. So let's talk about price, a very important factor when it comes to making a financial decision like buying a car. So in 2025, in the Southern California region, you can buy a VB WRX for somewhere between $37,000 and $41,000. These are the 2025 models to be specific. And if you're looking at the 22 plus to 2025 models, you can find them between $28,000 and $33,000. Those are going to be your used or certified pre-owned market. Now, if you're looking at the previous generation, which is this body style right here, you can find one for somewhere between $15,000 and $28,000. Mileage may vary, trim, and certain factors like that are going to influence the price. Now, if you're looking at a VA STI, which is what this car is here, this would be somewhere between $27,000 and $40,000. Now, the next point here, we're gonna be talking about maintenance. What does it cost to maintain a WRX or an STI? As somebody that's owned a highly modified VA WRX and someone that's owned a highly modified VA STI, I can say without a doubt, the maintenance costs are pretty comparable. They're really expensive cars to maintain for what they are. They're Japanese cars, and I would just take that into consideration when making your decision. And lastly, if this point matters to you, which is resale value. Resale value on an STI is always gonna be higher. That's not gonna be a surprise to anybody that's familiar with the Subaru platform. They just hold their value more, especially because the VA STI, or sorry, the STI in general, got discontinued after 2021. Subaru is no longer producing gasoline-powered STIs. So with that being said, let's talk about the next point, which is reliability. Starting off with Subaru's workhorse, the EJ25, the motor that's been in the STI since 2004. Now, this motor has a couple of issues. You have oiling issues. I firsthand experienced rod knock on my STI, which is caused by a bearing failure. So just know, if you are getting into an EJ-based Subaru, which is a 2002 to 2014 WRX or an 04 plus STI, you're more than likely at some point going to experience rod knock, even if the car was stock. My car was completely stock and I had oiling issues. It's not a secret to anybody that has owned an EJ-based Subaru. The oil baffle and the oil pickup system in the car itself, that the parts that are in the pan are no good. There's a reason why Killer Bee and IG sell thousands of those parts when people are looking to upgrade the reliability of their EJ-based Subaru. And the other factor that EJ-based Subarus are known for are ringland failures. And if you don't know what that is, there are rings in the pistons that have gaps where those rings sit, and under boost pressure, cylinder pressure, stuff like that, they are known to break, and that is just a common EJ thing that occurs in these cars. Now, as far as the FA20 and FA24, I have nothing but positive things to say in my experience. So when I owned my FA20 WRX, my 2019 WRX, I had no issues with the motor. It was great. Honestly, I dailied the car. I was making around 380 wheel horsepower, and I would beat on it quite often and never had an issue. Now, the transmission is another problem, but that's something that you need to realize, that once you start modifying the car for more power than it was intended, things are going to start to break. Now, as far as the FA24, I'll tell you guys firsthand, I did not personally modify the car. I had it completely stock the entire time I owned it, and I think it was a great car for what they are. So I can't really talk too much about the reliability. Now, in terms of reliability, let's get into the fun stuff. Let's talk about the performance. Let's talk about those nice, big, juicy brakes that the STI has. These are the 4-piston Brembo brakes that come on all 2008 to 2000, I believe 2017 STIs, the black ones. And now in the 2018 plus models, you'll find those big 6-piston banana yellow calipers. Those come standard in all 2018 to 2021 models, and the rears are pretty much the same. There are 2 piston rears for all models across, just depending on the year, you're gonna get a different color caliper. Now, as far as the WRX, you're gonna get your standard 2 piston brakes in the front and rear. Nothing special, but they get the job done. Regardless of a big brake setup or a regular brake setup, I think you can't go wrong with either. Now, one thing that the STI has over the WRX is the awesome 6-speed transmission. Now, you have a 6-speed in both cars if you're looking and talking about the 2015 plus WRX and STI models. However, the STI has a driver controlled center differential as well as a limited slip differential, which is the R180 in the rear. This is the biggest, and I argue the most important selling point when talking about the WRX and the STI. Depending on what you're using the car for, you will want the STI transmission. It's no secret that WRX owners that are planning to make big power always switch to the STI transmission. The STI transmission is hands down one of the best transmissions in any car that has been released probably in the last 20 years. Now let's talk about the engines of each of the cars. And the reason why this is in this section, and maybe I should have included it in the price section, is because we're gonna be talking about the miles per gallon that each car gets. So the FA20 WRX is gonna be a 2.0 liter engine, and then you're gonna have an FA24, which is the 22 plus WRX. You're gonna get a 2.4 liter engine, and the 08 plus STIs, or sorry, the 04 plus STIs, I should say, those come in the 2.5 liter engine that has been standard, like I said, in all STIs that have been coming out since 2004. Now, it's no surprise, the STI is a gas guzzler. I think I was getting somewhere between 15 and 60 miles a gallon combined between highway and city driving. And this is in a suburban, kind of not rural area. And when I was owning a 2019 WRX, which is the FA20, I was getting somewhere between, I think, 25 and 27 miles per gallon combined. And the FA24, which is the 23 WRX I had, that got about the same gas mileage as my FA20, maybe actually a little bit better, because I'll tell you guys right now, stock for stock, the FA24 is leagues better than the previous generation. One of the important factors that at the time I was not aware and or didn't think about when making my decision between whether I should have got the STI to begin with or the WRX is, what do I want to do with the car and how do I want to modify it? If you're looking to make the most amount of power on a Subaru and go as fast as you can in a straight line, there is no question about it, get the STI. The STIs, there's hundreds, if not thousands of STIs that have made 1,000 plus wheel horsepower. There's a proven path. You have a better platform, I argue, to start, have better foundation than, let's say, if you go and buy the VB WRX because you hear the E50 and an intake, simple bolt-ons gets you to 400 wheel horsepower. Don't always chase the simple things. Think about long-term effects, because like I said, where are you gonna get an STI transmission from? Those things are not cheap. They're not just lying around everywhere. They don't make STIs anymore. So it's not like you can just readily find one and just call it a day. So just think about what you want the car for, what your plans are for the car. If you're looking at, driving a fun car around that you can daily, hands down, get an FA24. Do not get an FA20. You still can, depending on your budget, but just know the FA24 is gonna be your better option. If you're looking at a dedicated time attack car, autocross or track car, or like I said, what I'm building, which is just how fast can I go in a straight line, just highway roller, get the STI. Odds are, if you're looking at a WRX or an STI, you really don't care about the interior, but just some things to mention. As somebody that's owned all three of them, the STI interior feels premium. There are certain things that make the car feel a lot nicer than the other models. It just depends on the trim. I know the VB WRX has certain trims, like the TS and TR models, that have certain goodies that the regular VB WRX doesn't have. The STI and certain models of the WRX come with Recaros, and the Recaros, if you can't afford it for the trim or whatever option the Recaros come in, they are really nice seats. I personally don't have Recaros. I just have the regular Alcantara seats that the STI comes in, and they're really nice. The infotainment is pretty bare bones. Infotainment is probably not going to be something you care about if you're looking at this car. Now, as far as looking at the ride quality, how does it feel sitting in the car as you're driving it? The ride quality itself isn't the best, But again, if you're looking at a Subaru, you probably don't care about that. It's not rough. It's not a super uncomfortable ride. As somebody that's road tripped this car from Southern California all the way up to Washington, it was pretty comfortable. After 20 hours of driving, I really didn't have any back pain or anything like that. And I think the interior is pretty good for what you're getting for a Subaru. Now let's talk about how it is to daily each of the cars. I think regardless of the WRX or STI, they're not very fun cars to daily, if I'm being honest. Specifically the STI. The STI, like I already mentioned, gets horrible MPG. You're gonna be spending a lot of money on gas. And number two, because we live in a day and age where people are so impatient on the roads, I have people constantly riding my ass. They don't understand that I can't just press on the gas and go at a stoplight. So take that into consideration as well, regardless of the model. Honestly, I would say the WRX is the better daily. Gas mileage, I would say I have just as much fun as this car right here, even though the STI makes way more power than either of the WRXs that I've owned. And that's because, that's a whole nother video, but that's because of the power band that my STI currently sits at. All the power band is pretty much up top. And honestly, I think the WRX is a fantastic car. I think it's great. As somebody that has owned both of them, the F820 and the F824, I think you can't go wrong with either option. Which car should you get? Which one is the right car for you? I think depending on what you can afford, what you're looking for in a car between all three models, and also what you're ultimately planning on doing with the car, if you're looking at having fun on a daily basis and just having a car to putt around in, you know, I think the WRX is a great option, regardless of the F820 or the F824. Can you make more power and I guess reliability? Is it a lot better on the newer car? Of course it is. The 2.4 liter is great. A lot of people have been making great power with very little mods in comparison to the previous generation WRX. You know, I remember spending, I don't even want to say it on camera, I spent a lot of money making 378 wheel horsepower. I mean, I spent a lot of money making almost 500 wheel horsepower on this car, but I love this car. This STI is my dream car, and I think if you're looking, like I said, for a fun daily driver, WRX, 100%, don't get an STI. If you're looking for a dedicated drag car, track car, or just want to own, I guess, a piece of, I don't know, hate to say it, like culture or history, because I think this car is one day gonna be a classic. Maybe not this body style, maybe the GD chassis, the 2004, 2007 STI. But, you know, if you wanna own a car that it's gonna hold its value and, you know, has a legacy behind it of motorsport, get the STI. With that being said, I hope I conveyed each of those points to you guys as best as I could. I'm feeling really tired today, despite everything. Hopefully you guys stick around for the next videos. I have more installs coming, as well as more videos like this, hopefully a lot better than this one. Make sure you guys subscribe, because we're trying to grow a community here and we're close to 500 subs. So it'd be awesome if you guys hit the subscribe button for me. Thank you guys for checking out this video. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.